Alright, so Hereditary. It's this movie I have to review. So Hereditary came out in 2018 and was directed by Ari Aster, who also directed Midsommar. Two very widely different views on these movies. First time I watched this, I wasn't sure what to think about it. Second time I watched it, I don't hate it, but it's probably something I'm not gonna say, hey, I'm bored, let me pop that in. Very much the same thing with this film. What do I mean by that? Well, see, this came out in 2018. I saw no trailers. I knew nothing about it. I'm still in this group called Killer Flicks. I don't talk much in that group. I have a bunch of groups. Something's bound to be pushed away. But I still check from time to time. But anyway, check in from time to time. I saw a lot of talk in that group about this movie. No spoiler stuff, but just like, are you gonna go see it? Oh my god, did you see the trailer for Hereditary? It looks good. So I'm just like, what is this movie? I didn't look up a trailer. I just bought a ticket and went to the theater. I went to the theater, bought a ticket, sat down, and I sat there for 127 minutes watching this movie. And when I was done, I still sat there. When the movie was done and I sat there in the credits, there's the point I went, this is not a movie to show a casual horror viewer. If there's someone out there, you have a friend that's I've seen a couple Nightmare on Elm Street, a few Friday the 13th, I like horror. They say they like horror and they've seen like a couple of horror movies. Yeah, I like horror, okay. Do not show them this movie because you will scare the shit out of them. As such, I feel like for the first time in the history of my channel, and I've done these before, but I'm not going to give spoilers for this film. Because this, I know it's been 2 years, but I just feel like why the fuck is it snowing? Anyway, I just feel like people still need to see this film. And if I spoil it, I just don't want to ruin it. I am going to talk about some stuff, but it's not going to spoil stuff. So, you want to know how powerful this movie is? This movie came out in 2018. When it came out on Blu-ray in 2019, I think. So 2018 was 3 years ago. 2019 is when the Blu-ray came out. I bought it. Opened it up, looked at the disc, did not watch it. It's been sitting on my shelf. Sitting on my shelf for 2 years without a watch. When Midsommar came out, I said, I liked Hereditary fine. I'm gonna give that a shot. I didn't go see it in theaters, but I bought the Blu-ray. That's another story, but this one stars Toni Collette, Gabriel Byrne, Alex Wolff, and is about this family's. Recently, Toni Collette's mother in the movie passed away, and then weird stuff starts to happen. And I know there's a lot of horror in here, but in the end, it's about tragedy. It's about suffering. It's about pain. There's a lot of that, and there's a lot of sequences where you'll see like a shot, and there'll be something in the corner, hiding. You might not even notice it. Like, there's things watching it this time that I was like, oh, look at that. There's a scene where a character walks in, and he's looking at something, and then the camera turns, and it's very subtle that there's somebody up in the corner just not moving, and if you don't, pay attention, you might not see it. Very well done by Ari Aster. The way he frames stuff, the way he does stuff, there are times, like Toni Collette's character, she makes models, and so there's times where he'll have the model, and then it'll zoom in, and it's actually the house, because it's the model of the house. It's very well done. And Toni Collette, god damn it, she deserved an Oscar. Or at least a nomination. She got nothing because the Oscars hate genre films. Although they nominated Logan. But, come on. This was masterfully done. I think this is a very well done movie. There are some things. Watching it this time, it's very drawn out. This movie is 127 minutes long. It's very drawn out. There are scenes where people are just sitting there. And the camera holds on them just doing stuff. And you're like, what important is this to the plot? Is it important? I don't know. Like, there's a scene of a little girl. She's had a hot glue gun and she's doing something. There's a scene where you have Toni Collette. She's working on something for the models. And just camera just sits on them. And I don't know. It's very drawn out, and I feel like you could take maybe a half hour out of this film and it would still work. I understand what he was going for, but it's very drawn out. It's 127 minutes long. That's an hour and a half, but 127 minutes long, 127 minutes long. That's over 2 hours. Never mind. Over 2 hours. If you make this an hour and a half movie, I think it would have been better. But for the pacing, I mean. The characterization of these characters. No, that's me, because I said the words. The way the characters are shown to us is done in a way that's like, you can tell they've gone through suffering. This family is suffering. She lost her mother. Another character passes away. I won't give away who. And that scene, too, when that death scene happens, and that character's death happens, you feel it. Like, you feel it. It's another one that's drawn out, but I think drawn out is very good. The character dies. The death happens. And then it's just very drawn out. You have one character coming home. And it just kind of stays on this character the entire time. And then you hear the cry from Toni Collette. And you hear it's very well done. However, the one thing that really bugged me this time is that there's a character in this film, I won't say which one, that has an allergy to nuts. I know that because you start the film by saying, hey, there's that, someone's eating a chocolate bar, and say, hey, there's no nuts in that, and is there? Shake their head, no. Followed by, not even 5 minutes later, another character coming up, hey, there's not nuts in that, is there? You're allergic to nuts. We get it. You got it the first time you said it. And then there's where this character and another character, they go to this party, and they close in on them, like the camera focuses on someone cutting up nuts, and you go, yeah, okay, we get it. They're allergic to nuts. Obviously, that's going to come into play, and it does, and that leads to that character's death, but I'm trying so hard not to spoil things, because people need to go out and see this movie. That's really the only thing that really bugged me, is that there's foreshadowing, and then there's just saying, hey, look at this, look at this, look at this, this is going to happen, look at this, to a point where it's not foreshadowing anymore. You're just telling us this is going to play into this character's death. And it does. And it's just like, you could take that out. All you need to do is just have that one dialogue from one character. Now, nuts in that, is there? Should have had no. And then just casually do it this way. Have that one character say, nuts in there, is there? Should have had no. And then later at that party, when they're eating, she's choking. This character is eating, choking, because the nuts, feeling weird. And then you just pan to the counter, and you see there's chopped up nuts. And that's enough. That would be enough. You didn't have to zoom in. You didn't have to have the line said twice, And the character's motivation to have this character at that party yelling at another character, you have to take this person to that party with you, forcing them to do it. That's another thing, just kind of meh to me. But I'm trying not to go into spoilers here because a lot of character motivations don't make sense. But you have to remember that they are grieving, so they're not thinking straight necessarily. And you get to the end, which without spoilers doesn't make much sense. At least when we get to the end, all the creepiness is very good at this end, but how we get to there, how a certain character, like we talked about one character killed off in a fantastic way, but how another character was killed off, it just seems that they did it this way to specifically kill this character, because we don't need this character for the end of the film. This character is not necessary, so just have this happen. And it's just like, yeah, but why? Is it necessary? Not really. But I'm not going to let that weigh down the movie. This movie is fantastic. I'm giving it... I can't give it to the moon. I can't give it a perfect score. Because there's just stuff that bugs me. And it does kind of be drawn out. But I'll give it a 9. Definitely give it a 9 out of 10. So, yeah. The highest one so far in this. And, I don't know. I'm hoping it even goes higher. So let's... Orphan. Just a good one. I don't know if I'll get to it today. I kind of want to take a break, but I'll try. We'll see. I can't believe it's already like almost 1:30 Central Time. I feel like I just woke up, to be honest. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on Hereditary? Leave in the comments below. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching. I've been Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.